Well, hello and how are you? Hey, friends, it's me again, Shenandoah Briscoe, coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Yes, sir, St. Charles, Missouri. We're about 20 miles, 20 to 30 miles outside of St. Louis, Missouri, depending on how you want to figure it. About 2 miles outside of St. Louis, Missouri, if you want to call it St. Louis County, as in St. Louis, Missouri. But if you want to call it St. Louis City, then I got a little ways to go. Anyway, that being said, this here is going to be blog number 331. That's right, 331. Well, somebody told me yesterday I need to find a topic to speak upon. Well, I don't know of any real topic to speak upon because, you get the news every day. So if you just jump on the news channel, then you'll see the news. Some of the stories that I've told you throughout the years, I guess I could retell throughout the years. I say throughout the blogs, I guess I could retell because, hey, they were interesting back then, and I am sure that they're interesting again. So, way back in the beginning, I told a story about my 72 Ford Torino, which left me under the impression that I should not be wearing seatbelts. So, therefore, I am going to retell that story once again. I think I'm going to take a drink of water first. Okay, here we go. Well, when I was about 17, I reckon. 17? Yeah, that sounds about right. I bumped into a friend of mine over at the high school. Well, together, he and I, and about 6 other guys, decided that I was going to take my 1972 Ford Torino. Here, wires. Get over there. They keep getting in my way, and my hands keep getting tangled up in them. My 1972 Ford Torino, we were going to take that and we were going to destroy it. Well, it started out like this. I had purchased the vehicle for a price of $150. Well, it was running pretty good when I bought it, but transmission went out on it. So I had a new transmission. I say new. I had a feller back then that would rebuild a transmission for $120. He was over in St. Anne, and you found him in the newspaper. Well, you know what a newspaper is? That's one of them paper objects that you'll find out in your front yard every now and again. But these things actually had stories in them. They had classified ads, and they had, different classified ads like you would find on Craigslist now. But anyway, he would rebuild transmissions. Well, he actually had one rebuilt before I even brought mine over. So all I had to do was take mine out, bring it over to him, and pick up my new one and just bring it back over to my house and install it. So, anywho, that's what we done. And the car was running okay for a little while after that, but then it got to where it wouldn't hardly start, so we decided we were going to tear this car up. Well, we took it out to a place called Callaway Fork Road. Now, the friend that I'm speaking of just so happens to be my roommate's nephew. And that's how I met my roommate, by the way, because, well, her nephew being my best friend, they were coming right down the street from me as his other aunt. So anyway, right down the street from me, they were having a cookout, and they come down and invited me to go over to the cookout with them. So there you have it. That's what happened. That's how I got my invite. So anyway, we decided we're going to tear this car up. Well, back in the 70s, because this was, I guess 81. Let's see, I graduated in 84, so it must have been 82 or 83. Back in the 80s, whenever you watched movies, car crashes, anytime a car flipped over or whatever, it burst into flames and exploded. Well, we also had a program on television called The Dukes of Hazzard. Well, we were playing in a dry creek bed off this Callaway Fork Road. And if you ever want to find it, you go down Double F and you get to Defiance. And, well, you don't get to Defiance because if you go to Defiance, you got the wrong direction. But anyway, you go down the highway until you get to, let's see, where is it exactly? Give me a second. I'll find out. That's it. Yeah, you run down Highway 94 south all the way down there until you get to Highway Double D. Well, you hook a left on Double D until you hit F. Then you run F until you find Callaway Fork Road on your right. Anyway, you take Callaway Fork Road down in there, and there's a whole bunch of little creek crossings known as fords. And with how fitting, because I was going to destroy a ford. Anyway, some of them creek crossings is dry and some of them's wet. Well, we just so happened to choose the dry ones, and we were going to smash up that car just like it Dukes of Hazzard. We were going to do some power sliding and sliding into trees and stuff, and we had ourselves a 9mm camera. So we was taking videos of what we was doing. Well, anywho, we had been power sliding in this dry creek bed, and, well, we had a flat tire, so we changed that, and of course we videotaped that, and then we decided we were going to go back out and change to another spot on the creek. And so, we all jumped in that car, all 8 of us, or is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of us jumped into the car. Well, we decided we weren't going to be playing around on the road because, well, hey, that could have ended up being dangerous. So, anyway, Marty just so happened to be driving, and of course, you know, there's always something that's very tempting on the road. So we hop in the car, and we've been doing power slides trying to wipe out the rear quarter panels of the vehicle. So anyway, he sees this tree, and it would be a perfect tree to wipe out a quarter panel. Of course, the deal is everybody's wearing seatbelts and helmets and stuff like that. Well, I'm not. I'm just kind of hanging out the window taking video when he says, "Hey, I'm going to try this tree." So I slipped on in, and everybody else had seatbelt on. Well, me at the time, I didn't have a seatbelt. Well, he does a power slide towards that tree, and he misses the tree, and he goes up onto an embankment on our left. Well, the car does a slow motion rollover, and crunch, boom, the roof is crushed in, and everybody's hanging upside down from their seatbelts, except for me. Well, I come shimmying out of that car, and I looked over at it, and it wasn't smoking or nothing. And so I says, "All right, you guys, it's not on fire. Come on out." Well, all I hear at that point in time is thump, 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 where they're all dropping down on their heads. I got to picturing myself as though if we would all be in a creek bed, and if we'd have been flipped over in the creek, all their heads would have been underwater, and they'd have been drowning, and that wouldn't have been fun. So, that's at the point in time of my life I decided to quit wearing seatbelts. So, therefore, when I had my automobile accident, which left me in this wheelchair, notice the headrest, I was not wearing a seatbelt. And it's a good thing, because I flew out of the car about 32 feet. And when I did, why, I landed on my forehead and broke one bone in my entire body, just my C3 vertebrae. But had I been wearing the seatbelt, I'd have been in that car and I'd have been crushed to death. And so, therefore, no seatbelts for me. That being said, anyway, it come time to where that car was laying upside down in the middle of the road. And, well, the policeman, he showed up. Well, actually, what we decided was we were going to go get a farmer who we had seen plowing in the field previously on the gravel road. So we rolled on up to that farmer's house, and we said, "Hey, dude, do you think you could possibly come over and flip do you have a chain?" Guy says, "Yes, well, I got a chain. Do you think you could possibly come out and flip our car back over on the road?" Well, he said, "Sure." And he got in his tractor, and we said, "Well, we're down there on the other side of the creek, so if you could follow us down." Well, by the time we get back down there are a police car, sheriff, on the other side of the car, and he says, "Well, you fellers are going to be in trouble here because is this a stolen vehicle?" I said, "No, I own the vehicle." "Well, was you driving it?" I says, "No, he was driving it." He says, "Well, are you pressing charges against him?" I said, "Oh, no, not me. Why should I press charges against him? We were enjoying ourselves." He says, "Well, you can't leave it here, and I've got a tow truck on the way." Well, we didn't need no tow truck because, well, we had a tractor coming. And we says, "Well, you can cancel that tow truck. We got a tractor coming." Well, the police officer, he says, "There ain't no way no tractor going to flip that car back over." And he didn't know nothing about nothing because we knew better. So anyway, the tractor come down, and we hook up that chain to the front A-frame axle, and we just started to flip that car. Well, it started sliding on its roof, so we all boosted up on one side, and it caught traction, and it flipped right on over. And, well, it was back on all four wheels, and that was a good thing. So anyway, we moved it from there down to the corner, and the policeman said, "You can't leave it there." Well, the sheriff said we couldn't leave it there. We had already proved him wrong twice, and he was not going to be proven wrong a third time. But anyway, after that, we flipped it over. That car started right up. with the first turn of the key. Only problem was we couldn't move it because while it was upside down, a lot of transmission fluid ran out of it. But that's another story to be told on another day. Anyway, this here is Shenandoah Briscoe. Goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here's Shenandoah Briscoe saying hello and how are you? You know, God loves you and so do I. So be blessed in Jesus' name and come back and see me tomorrow because, well, I'll be here and I hope you are too.